evening. Welcome to the Choir Directors Academy. I'm your host, Angela Lane. It's good to see you all out there. Listen, like and share this video so the algorithm can get it out. I'm starting a little early because I'm really trying to stay within my schedule, but I'm glad that you all join me. And you have so many wonderful comments and things to say, so it takes a little longer than what I anticipated. But I appreciate each of you, and thank you to all of you that are going to watch this later. I have quite a few people that watch this at a later time. Let me get my words out. It's been a long day. At a different time, and shout out to all of you on the other side of the world that support this channel. I appreciate you. Yeah, I was looking at my stats the other day, and it's amazing how many people from the other side of the world tune in every week to watch. So just to let you know that whatever God puts on your heart to do it. Okay, don't worry about, well, I don't have that many people on the live. Maybe not, but you don't know who you're touching. There are millions of people in this world. So never when you have an idea, a God idea that dropped in your spirit, never think that, oh, I don't have the numbers. You're reaching somebody. Because remember, everyone can't reach everybody. Okay? Certain people only like things explained to them in a certain way. So everyone can't meet everybody's need. But there are millions of people in the world, thousands of people in the world that will love to hear what you have to say or what you have to offer. So never think that is the case. But do me a favor, like and share this video. We're going to talk about a topic that is kind of touchy for some people. For me, it's not, because I just believe that whenever you are standing before God's people, it should always be the best, right? You should always put your best foot forward. We do know that, we're living in a world now that everybody's willy-nilly, whatever I want to do, that's what I'm doing. But that's not the proper way to be, because if you're on the receipt, let's think about this. Why would you want to give out what you don't want to receive? You don't want to receive it, so you shouldn't give it out, all right? Because you're going to reap what you sow. But let's recap the previous weeks. I was out 2 weeks ago. We talked about addressing concerns and resolving conflicts with leadership. Conflict is a strong word to use, but we do have differences of opinion. Sometimes they want you to do something and you may feel that there's a better way to do it, or what they're talking about is not the right way. Or you have ideas, they tell you what they want from you, and then you have ideas, and then you try to present the ideas and they reject it, they kick it out. Okay, so it's kind of iffy, it's varying ways to look at it. I've been there. If you've been in leadership, you have been there where you have an issue that you need to address it with leadership. I will say this from personal experience. Don't wait till the last time to address it. Don't sit there and be like, okay, and let things fester. Never let anything fester. It's best to talk to somebody when you're calm instead of in a heated moment, and you only make things worse. Okay. One of the things that the ability to work together has become a lost art in this season of entitlement. COVID not only changed the way we don't do that part of communication, and that is a form of communication. We don't greet people and hug people like we used to, but COVID also made it, within that, we also developed this entitlement, but we also it developed a way of not communicating. It's almost like we all went to nonverbal or something. It's just like nobody knows how to talk to anybody anymore. All right. So that has become lost. But I will say, before you address the concern or issue, you should pray. Remember, we're talking about church here. We're not talking about the streets. You should look, even the people that's in the street today need to pray before you do anything. Okay. Everybody needs to be praying. But definitely, before you address a concern with anybody, but especially with leadership, okay? Especially if you're in leadership, right? Because like I said before, you're going to reap what you sow. And if you talk to your leader in a bad way, believe me, when you become a leader, you're going to get it worse. Okay. So you want to make sure you're in the right spirit and the right frame of mind when you do things. I'm running through these real quick. You want to leave your emotions out of it. Okay, that's the worst thing you could do is talk to somebody and you all emotional, because first of all, you're not listening to anybody. Second of all, you're so busy trying to get your point across, and you end up saying something that you will regret. That you will say something that you will regret, and it will be like, and once words go out, you can't bring them back. And even though that person forgive you and you say you sorry and all of that good stuff, memory is still there. They just let go of the hurt. I mean, that's not saying that just because you forgive somebody, it's not saying that they're wrong. It's just saying you're going to let go of the hurt and let God deal with it. All right. So you don't want to talk to anybody with your emotions. And I know sometimes we all forget. You have a bad day and you get to flapping the wings and whatever else. We all have those moments. I'm not saying anybody's infallible, but do your best to compartmentalize. Learn to do that. You got to learn to do that. Dealing with people today, you got to learn how to compartmentalize in order to keep from giving a reaction that only escalates everything. Okay. Next, before you talk to somebody, always write down your concerns clearly. Sit down and think about what you're getting ready to say. Write it down. It's always easier. Don't try to always talk from, I remember my man. No. It's too much going on. It's too much in the air. It's too many spirits floating around. You don't need to do that. You need whatever you need to address with anybody, you should write it down. And I do. I have a notepad. I've kind of turned into my dad. My dad used to always have a notepad around where he writes notes on there, things that he want to talk about, and it's not that you have a memory issue, but it's just a lot going on. And when you write it down, you have a chance to look at it and see what you're saying, right? That's why texting is not the best, all right? Because you get to text and somebody say something, you get to say, blah, 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 and if you hit send, you're in trouble. I mean, now we have an edit feature, but still the person probably read it before you even, a lot of things, we hit the send button. You should just let it go and just say, okay, let me chill. But write it down before you talk to your leader and give reasons. Don't just say, I don't like this. Okay, but why? Substantiate your claim. All right. Substantiate it in an intelligent way. Okay. Not with all of this slang. Well, don't, I just said that because I'm thinking like, don't do that, but don't kind of, write it down and meditate on it a little bit, kind of calm yourself down and pray and get those thoughts in order, right? When you're talking to leadership, even when I'm talking to anybody in leadership, I don't care if it's a church or corporate America or a client or whatever, I'm talking to leadership and I may not agree with what you're saying. I'm going to make sure I write down the concerns and then I'm going to give reasons why I feel this will not work, given the circumstances. And also remember, the second reason why you need to give reasons is because a lot of times once a person starts rising up the ladder, you're no longer with the day-to-day ops, right? Day-to-day operations. The further higher you go up, the further you are away. And if out of sight, out of mind. And then when you're looking at something globally, it looks right. Okay, it's just like everybody else. Our leader of this great country is seeing things globally. He's he's not in the day-to-day thing. So globally, it looks like, okay, this is the right thing to do. But then for those of us who are on the ground working day-to-day operation, we look like, what are you doing? All right. So when you're talking to somebody like that, you have to keep in mind that they are out of touch, so to speak. And when you're talking to them, without the emotions, you've written your thoughts down and you're giving clear, concise reasons as to why this will not work. Okay. You can't resist that. Trust me. You can't resist that. Okay. So those were the kind of the things that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I just wanted to bring it up. Hey, my sister is there. Hey, Sister Stephanie. Hey. I just want to kind of regroup that like I always do. Regroup what's being said. And we're going to move on, right? All right. First of all, let's go here. It says leadership standards are required, directors exempt. Okay. Are you exempt from, are you exempt? A lot of times we sit there and we think about all of the different things that people do. And, when we have lead, we expect, we have a certain level of expectation for our pastors. We have a certain level of expectation for our bosses. We have a certain level of expectation for anybody in leadership, even the president. We have a standard or an expectation. All right. But understand this, when you have an expectation for somebody else, the people that are subordinate to you, guess what? There's an expectation for you too, right? They expect certain things from you as a leader, because, and this is, I'm finding this with a lot of people that are coming up today. A lot of people don't like to go through the ranks. They want to just jump up and all of a sudden I go from nothing to from a blunder to a wonder in 24 hours. That's not possible. Okay. Leadership to become an effective leader or a good leader or a tempered leader, it takes time, right? It's not like it's not an overnight process. And when so many people are trying to go about it the accelerated way, you miss it. It's just like a person who starts with a company. They start at the bottom and they kind of work their way up incrementally. There is a wisdom, there is an understanding that they will have, that the person that come in the company just jump every 5 years, they just jump in, skipping over levels. There's a certain understanding, there's a certain wisdom, there's a certain depth that person that does it incrementally will have. They walk in, they just got presence, versus the person that wants to do it very, very quickly. You miss a lot of life lessons. You miss a lot of things when you try to do it quickly. And when you get there, you don't have what it takes to sustain. See, leadership is not only about telling people what to do, but you need to know how to sustain an organization, right? And not just through verbal communication, but through your presence, through what you do, through how you handle yourself. All of that comes into play when you're leading a team of people. And it doesn't have to be a grand, a lot of people. It can just be a few. And if you can accomplish things with a few people, isn't that what the Bible tells us? I believe it's over in the Gospels. He talks about it all in all the Gospels. If you be faithful over that which is small or a few, he will make you ruler over many. All right. Learning how to manage the little crew that you have and inspire them to come up out of themselves and do that takes something. And same thing for a choir director. All we get caught up is this part. The movement, the show, the clothes and all this kind of stuff, being flamboyant. But in order to maintain a group and build, there's a certain character you have to have. And I think that is what's majorly missing today, because there are some people, if you don't demonstrate a certain level of leadership, a certain quality, a certain presence, a certain way about yourself, there are certain people that are just not going to follow you. They're just not coming with you. If you can get somebody that may be, like they don't care. They just want to get up there and flop and do whatever. But to get quality people, you need to demonstrate a certain level of dignity, integrity, respect, honor. I mean, I'm talking about the church. I'm talking about anywhere really. But we're focusing on the church because we're talking about choir directors right now. We're focusing on that in particularly because for some strange reason, today the church is just, we wonder why nobody wants Jesus, because we're just as dysfunctional as the people who don't know Jesus, right? And if you're been chosen to be over the department, we are assuming, which is the wrong thing to do, but we are assuming that you have gone through the ranks, that you have demonstrated to leadership that you have the capability to do this job and be effective and do it well. We're already assuming that. If you come and you tell me to join your choir, let me just put it this way. Me being a choir director myself, and you asking me to come and join you with your group. All right. Number one, I'm expecting you to know music, right? Because I do. I mean, it's different levels. It all depends on what you're working with. If you're calling somebody like me, number one, I'm expecting you to know music. I'm expecting you to be able to sing. I'm expecting you to be able to teach parts, not just play the part, but teach the part effectively. Not asking me what the part, how to do it. I'm not expecting you to be flat. I'm expecting you to give me a stellar performance. You want me to follow you, right? I mean, you expecting the best for me. Well, if you're leading me, I'm expecting the best for you. So that's what prompted me. What I'm saying, leadership standards is more than, is what they say about transformers, is more than what meets the eye. And it does. All right. The basic qualities of a good, I'm going to go over some of the basic qualities of a good leader. Okay. I, have been in leadership practically all my life. I've been a PK. So that's like, when you're a PK, you're officially a leader, but then you're unofficially a leader. You just stuck, you're there, and you're almost like instantly mold. You just molded into being a productive person. All right. But when it comes to leadership, they're just basic quality. Now, when I go over these, it's not in any specific order. I'm just calling them all together. All right. But as a choir director, all right, we're it's too many shabby people out here. As a choir director, you should be, these qualities that I'm getting ready to go should be basic nature in you. It should be, because how else are people going to be, how else are they going to want to follow you? I'm working with a jurisdiction now. When I came in there, they didn't know, they were clueless. They didn't know me. They heard from the person that left, recommended me to step in and fill in the role for them, because they had to do other things. Okay. So when I walked in the door, everybody just kind of looked at me like, okay. Right. And when I walked in, I was kind of nervous because, you don't know how people are going to receive you. But then what I did was I became myself. If you understand what I'm saying, I was just free. I'm like, this is how I am. Let's go. And when I got in, after the first rehearsal, we didn't have that many people there because, it was kind of like, oh, okay, what is she about? After the first rehearsal, that was it. The next one, it was more people. By the time we got to the actual convocation, people were coming in. I mean, because they heard, and I demonstrated leadership. Okay. People, when you walk in the door as a leader, I'm telling you, new choir directors, my newbies out there, take the time to study, take the time to learn, take the time to develop, right? Take the time. You can't do everything in one day. Take the time to learn. But one of the first couple of ones I have is integrity and respect. You must have integrity as a leader. Your yay needs to be yay and your nay needs to be nay. Whatever you say it needs to be what it is. They should have confidence in you that you're not hooked up in scandals. You're not hooked up in foolishness. You're not running around clubbing and doing all of this. Because when you think about it, you're a minister of music or you're a choir director, you should be living what you're singing. How can you express something that you know nothing about? You need to present yourself in that way, and you need to have respect. Respect the people, respect down and respect up. Show respect. I address everybody, all the men as sir and the women as ma'am. And I'm not calling you old or anything, but I'm addressing you with respect. I believe in that. I believe in respecting people. Now, I don't always get respect, okay? But even when people disrespect me, God sends somebody else to step up because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get out of pocket with you. I can see foolishness going on. I'm not saying anything. But, God always sends somebody else, and I just sit there and look like, but you should always have integrity. They should always be comfortable knowing that you are going to do the right thing. You are going to uphold the standard for whatever it is. Now, this is just stuff that you should be in. We haven't even gotten to the music, but this is just the qualities that should be in you. If you have these basic qualities, you will be a capable leader. Compassion and open communication. When you're dealing with people, you cannot be so brash and hard. You know what I'm saying? You have to be firm. There's a difference between being firm and being mean. There's a big difference between those two. And I think a lot of people they're confused. And see, that's why you got to read. A lot of times we don't like to read. We want to just watch everything on social media. No, you need to read. You need to get books. I don't have it here. But anyway, I have one book up here. It's called The Cost of Decision. I know it's kind of backwards, by Michael Weatherspoon. Very good book. I have books everywhere. The 40 Rules of Power, the Attitude series, okay, by John Maxwell. You need to read. Reading is expansion. There are certain things you get in reading that you won't get anywhere else. Okay, understand that. And when you're a reader, it helps you to communicate better. Okay, it enhances your communication skills. It enhances your vocabulary when you read, because you're internalizing words, definitions, meaning. You need to know connotation, denotation. What are they saying in the sentence, or what are they really, or what is it really meaning? Right? Compassion. Understand your people. Don't be so, the people got this confused. They're so mean to people. And I'm sitting there looking at, I understand you need to be firm. Rules are rules. But at the same time, when you speak, understand what it was like when you were on the other side. And that's why I always tell choir directors, when you're talking to people, when because sometimes you can be so busy teaching people that you forget what it is on the other side. Receive it. So a lot of times I will go and participate in somebody's workshop, or I participated, go and sit in someone's choir rehearsal and sing with the choir, right? You'll learn a lot by observation. And then you kind of realize what it's like to sit there and trying to grasp what someone is saying. If they don't have effective communication skills, you'll realize how important it is. Because with a choir, over years of singing and directing and conducting, you're only going to get about 80% of what you give out. So you understand that you need to have compassion, understanding that if I'm not communicating and I'm not getting what I need to have compassion and try to talk to the people and understand, what are we missing? What did I fail to communicate with you? Okay. You also need to be purpose driven. Never go to choir rehearsal and be willy-nilly. I can't stand that. When we come to choir rehearsal, what are we doing? We're just sitting around, la, 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 la. Choir rehearsal starts at 7. Okay, you got a few people here, get started. You should, if you don't want to play the instrument like I do, then you should know how to teach parts a cappella. You got a piano on your phone. I have a piano on my phone. So I can give pitches and teach from there, because before I come to choir rehearsal, I make sure I am astute. I make sure I know that song inside and out, every part. I can jump from part to part while I'm teaching. And hopefully one day soon, I'm going to allow you to record me teaching rehearsal, because so many of you have asked. You want to see me in a rehearsal. I'm going to do that and let you see how I operate in rehearsal. You come with a plan. Right? Strategic thinking. What is the best way for me to get this information to them so that they can prepare themselves for rehearsal, so we won't spend unnecessary time teaching. We will just come together to review and perfect that what they've already done. How do I get a song list to them? How do I prepare them? What do I do? How early should I give it to them? Strategic thinking. If you want that department to grow and be efficient, and you not carry all the weight of that organization. Okay. I know I'm talking fast, but I'm trying to give you ideas on how you should be. Again, effective communication and motivational inspiration. How do you inspire your choir members to come, your musicians? Do you inspire them to come? Oh, I mean, what is it? Do they drag in and they're like, oh, what are you doing? How do you motivate them to participate or to come? Okay. Organizations require process. Why is there no process in the church? Somebody help me. And if there's a process, is it biblical? I mean, when we read in the Bible, we hear about how God chooses people to do specific jobs. He don't just pick anybody willy-nilly and say, okay, you got the job. If you ever go through Deuteronomy, Numbers, especially Deuteronomy, when they're talking about the things that God wants done, if you ever notice and take the time to read how he tells them, he goes and get the person who has that spirit in them, that has a skill for that particular thing to learn. Have you ever thought about that? Why is it that when we just pick a person, stick them in a role, we don't give them any training, we don't get, I mean, just stick them in there, and then you wonder why the department is defunct, because the person has no clue. All they know how to do is just pick a song, we're gonna sing this, pick uniforms, and that's it. No, you need something else. As a choir director, you need to pray. You need to know how to pray. You got to pray for your choir members. I know, I'm not saying you worry about them, like, oh my God, no, but you pray for them. You got to pray. You need to pray for leadership, and you need to pray that God gives you wisdom on how to lead them. There's an expectation. You ever notice in the Bible there's an expectation? And I know this is not going to be a popular broadcast, but hey, I got to say what God put on my heart to say. First of all, any leader in the church should be saved. You cannot effectively communicate God's plan if you don't know him. I mean, you standing in front of people and you directing and you over people. You want to have the right spirit, because whatever spirit the leader has, the people are going to have. If you got a leader who's got a roving eye, I guarantee you everybody else in there is going to have a roving eye, a lustful spirit. I mean, that's just where it is. If you have a leader who is a go-getter, who's aggressive, the people are going to have the same motivation, because they're going to see it in action. Whatever people see in action, that is what they do. Another point is that we have too many people who did it their way in leadership. When you are following somebody, you are to learn two things: the right way to do something and what you shouldn't do. And I think a lot of us that get in these leadership roles, we don't really learn from the person that was there before us, right? People that preceded me that were choir directors or ministers of music, I looked at what they did. And, I'm sorry, calling my choir members out of their names, calling them, they dumb, stupid, and all of that kind of stuff, that should not be named among leaders. If you got to resort to name calling and all of that kind of stuff, as my father told me, you have reached your level of competence. When you got to yell, scream, call people out of their names and say all this ridiculous stuff, then you have already reached your level of competence. You should go no higher. You should really be demoted. All right. You shouldn't have to do that. But we have a lot of people that get in there, they scheme, connive, and do whatever to get in leadership instead of going it the wrong. They go about it the wrong way. So all of that anger, all of that low self-esteem, all of this stuff is still in you. And you're standing ahead of people. That's why you see some people, they ahead of a choir, they don't let anybody direct but them. They don't let anybody. I just have issue with, it's one thing if you have nobody that can direct, then you need to be trying to train somebody. You ought to be trying to train somebody. That's what a good leader does. A good leader trains somebody. I am the president of IMEJ jurisdiction. I'm standing up. Now, the very first time we had convocation, I was only like 2 weeks in. Yeah, I did most of the directing because I didn't know who was who. I didn't know anybody. So, yeah, I did most of the directing. And that's the way it was. But this time around for workers meeting, I'm going to all I need you to do is stand there and just tell the people what to do. You don't have to direct like me. You're interested in training, because here's the thing. I don't know. I'm not expecting anything to happen. But what if I'm late? So everybody's just going to sit there like a little mouse and just wait. Well, she's not here. We don't know what to do. No, it should be somebody else there that can step up and do the job. Real leaders train. But we have so many right now that's got low self-esteem. They got all kinds of issues going on. And that's why they hold on to the job so much instead of giving somebody else a chance. Remember, in my case, And I guess I feel like that because I've been there all the time. I always looked at it like this, and my dad trained me this way. He said, when somebody puts you in a leadership role and tells you that you're going to be the head of whatever, even on my job, team leader, you've already demonstrated that you can do it. Okay. He said, so you need to understand that your job now is to train the people that they put you over. You already showed them that. So you have nothing else to prove. And that's my mentality everywhere I go, whether I'm in corporate America, I'm the team leader or, lead consultant or whatever. I don't have anything to prove. They call me to be the leader because I've already demonstrated that I'm capable. And that's the attitude you need to have. Is that I'm here because I'm capable. Let me do it and then train others how to do it. That because real leaders are not intimidated with the people that are under them. A real leader is never intimidated. I'm not intimidated. Even in my church now, I lead the prayer, and other sisters in the church can pray. You think I'm intimidated? I know. Go ahead. Go on up. Pray. Look, I don't have to do it. I mean, it's already been demonstrated that I can, to God be the glory, but I also know other people can do the same thing. We got to learn to stop being intimidated by people. Don't be intimidated. You got the job because you know how to do the job. Now, your job is to demonstrate it and then train the people behind. That's a good leader. The department still runs when you're not there. That's a good leader. That means you did your job well. I can go on vacation. I don't have to worry about it because I got capable people. Right? That's how it should be. Okay. But a lot of people do it their way. And instead of changing from bad habits to better things, they perpetuate. And that's what's wrong with us now. We're perpetuating bad habits. I'm the boss and ain't nobody else going to do nothing but me. That's a bad habit. No, I am the boss. Yes, I am the leader, but I'm here to show you. And like I tell everybody, everywhere I go, even when I'm on my job with lead consultant, I tell everybody, you know what? I'll let you do it. I'll let you present. I don't have a problem with it. I'll let you do this or do that. There are some things that I have to do as the leader. I get that. But if I don't have to do it, I'm going to let you do it. Like I tell them all the time. You can direct, you can sing, you can do whatever. You can levitate the benches off the floor. But at the end of the day, I'm still in charge. Right? Going up. That's how you got to be. You're going to be stressed out. Let me get some of these comments. Everybody's saying amen. This is 7:45. Amen. My sister's giving me some hands up. What'd she say? My sister said, some say that they didn't like the way things were done previously. So is their way or the highway? Exactly. And Alika B say you have to be anointed to do this work. Come on. You better come on now. She also says you have to be a great follower before you're a great leader. Oh, come on. A teacher is only as good as his best pupil. Come on. She dropping bombs and nuggets, y'all, using the altar of God as a stage. And that's what a lot of people are doing. She says entertainment, but Yah is the star of the star. Jehovah is it. He is the star. And that's what we have a lot of people doing. This is not about entertainment. She brought up a good point. This is not about entertainment. We're not here to entertain you. And you know what? I love my praise and worship people, but that's kind of why I'm not praise and worship. The only issue, and this is a sidebar, but the only issue I have with praise and worship is that when people come, they come with it's almost like they come with a mind to be entertained. They don't really get involved. It's like you just standing there, sitting there. And I promise you, that's how I kind of feel, because you're singing songs that I'm like, okay, I may know the song, but it's not reaching me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you ever notice that when you sing congregational songs in a big place, do you ever notice how the people get up and everybody get with you? That's what really, when praise and worship, that's really what you're trying to do. And I know a lot of people say, holding your hands up, we lift our holy hands. That's worship. Worship is really your life. Worship is what you do every day. You live for God. That's your worship. But I guess that's why I'm a choir director. I am a choir person. I just love to see a mass of people clapping their hands at the same, well, okay, whether you 2, 4, 1, 3, I don't care. But you just, everybody's moving as one, giving God the glory. But I love that. But when you ever notice that when you do a congregational song, how it just pulls everybody in together? And I love that. And a lot of times I just rather just get up there and sing a congregational song. And people just get with that. Something easy, something simple that we all can sing and enjoy. But you have to have an ear. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to unlearn the wrong way and relearn the right way. Understanding the principles, methods of many, principles of few. Methods change, but the principles never do. My dad taught me that. They never do. Principles stay the same no matter what. The principles of math are absolute. They don't change, okay? There may be a different method of doing it. I think today they use, what they call it? I forgot. It starts with a P. I can't remember what it was. Back in my day, it was called the FOIL method. Today, it's called something else. I can't remember what. Oh, my niece and them, they told me what it was, and it just slipped my mind. But I was just like, okay. We all came up with the same answer, but, my way, the FOIL method is always better when it comes to that. But, the principles of music, the principles of godly living, the principles of leadership never change. You may be more tech savvy than an older person, but the principles of leadership never change. You should always be a person of integrity. I cannot stress that. We have so many people in leadership, in the church, out of church, that do not have integrity. I don't trust nothing they say. I just sit there and look at them. I'm polite. One thing about it, I'm always going to be nice. I'm always going to be polite. I'm always going to respect you. Because I understand the law of sowing and reaping, and I understand it's just not right to disrespect people. Me personally, everybody can do whatever they want to do, all right, because you have to give an account. But just like I didn't call President Obama out of his name, and God knows I didn't like the stuff he did. I didn't like the stuff that President Biden did, but I never called him out of his name. And I don't like all the stuff that President Trump is doing, but I will never call him out of his name. We as people of God got to live a standard. No, I don't like everything he's doing, but I'm not going to call him the orange man and this guy. No, that's not proper. All right. What if you get, even we have people in our church. We have people of other races coming, white, Spanish, whatever. And they may have voted for the man. And I'm getting up there calling names and saying all this different stuff when I'm testifying and I'm venting my opinion about him. What is that going to make them feel? I don't care what you say. Well, I'm talking about him. No, but those that are Caucasian that come to church, they're going to feel uneasy. Because what's in my mind is just like you, if you go to a church and they start saying negative things about former President Obama or Martin Luther King or somebody, you're going to start feeling uneasy, even though they say, well, we ain't talking about you, but we don't get caught up in the stuff that everybody else does. This is what I'm talking about, integrity. We don't do that. We maintain, no, I don't agree with you. No, I don't like what you're doing. And if I had a chance, respectfully, I tell you, I don't agree with you. Not going to make a difference, right? But I will tell you that, but I don't get caught up in calling him a name and all that kind of, no, I'm not doing that. Because what if it was me as the president of the United States? That's not going to happen. But what if that was me, the president of the United States, and people call, how would you feel if somebody calling you a name? No, he's not doing things that I would, doing it the way I want to do it. I would do it. But then I'm not in that role anyway. I'm not in that role. We have to learn how to maintain respect, because if you as a leader cannot respect other people, they're not going to respect you either. Believe me, if you calling somebody else names, somebody else is calling you names. You may say, well, I don't care. Okay. All right. You may not, but the people who are supporting you, is hurting them. Okay. Let me check these comments before I get too far away. Annalika, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. If not, please leave a comment. Let me know. Provoke to worship. If you don't set the atmosphere, you're just entertaining. Do you worship yourself with or without the people or within the four walls? That's it. Worship goes everywhere with you, not just at home, but it goes everywhere with you. Hey, this man right here, masterful teacher of music. So proud of him with his masters. I'm looking for the doctor in front of the name real soon. True worshipers are aware, but the worshiper he hears. How exactly? PIMDA, that's it. PIMDAs, that's it. Teach, that's it. PIMDAs, yeah, that new method. I was like, what is it? Parentheses, exponentials. I think they were trying to. Young people were trying to. I just looked at them. I'm like, let me do my forward method. We got the same answer. The forward method looked like it just whatever. So my sister said, teach the people. She said, Annalika says, honor to whom honor. You got to. Isn't that what Jesus said? Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. All right, we have to learn to do what's right, not what we feel. Your emotions will get you in trouble every single time. Cause you to do things you shouldn't do. Go places you shouldn't do. You know, it just messes you up. And then you live in a life of regret. And then the enemy beats you down with regret. And it takes you a while to heal. We don't have time for that. It's too much to do. We don't have time for that. Okay. I think that's the last point. Okay. Oh, my last point. If we are working for the Lord, then our focus should be on him only. I think we have lost focus. I'm ending. I got 2 minutes. Then our focus should be on him only. He will charter the path to our destiny. Okay. He alone can take your mess and make it a message. He alone can do that. And a lot of times he takes those things that we have suffered and been through. You know, I mean, some of the things that I've been through in the last 3-4 years, to me is like, how can I help somebody? Because I'm like, that thing hit me. It was a hurricane, a tornado, earthquake. I don't know what I got hit with, but it hit me so hard. It nearly knocked the life out of me, literally, like breath. Like 2 steps from them pronouncing me. I mean, it really knocked me out. And you think to yourself, like, Lord, who can I help? But you know, your every experience, everything that you go through is here to help somebody else get through what they need to be and help get them where they need to be quicker if they listen to your wisdom. I read a good post, and I got to get his permission before I say it, and I might talk about it on next week. But I hope I said something to help you. I know I went into a teaching mode and I was kind of, you know, just to the point, but I'm just tired of dysfunctionalism. I'm so tired of seeing that. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. And it's just like, really? That didn't cross your mind that was wrong. You know, and when I talk to people one-on-one, they really don't know. And here's the point of God giving me this little Facebook, YouTube. It's not a podcast, but show. To help people, to give you understanding and let you know that what you're doing is a very impressionable thing. I mean, being a choir director is nothing to sneeze at. And I think if we really understood, go back and read the Bible and read about, read the history with Asaph and how God set out singers and how he had people over the singers, Heman and Asaph. And Asaph came with David, but he had Heman. Back in the Bible, they go back and read those scriptures. You need to be a Bible reader. As a leader in the church, you need to know that Bible. But go back there and read how he selected certain people to be over the choir, to be over different things. But I'm talking about the choir right now. To be over the choir, to lead the people in song. They had to be skilled. We need to work on our skills. I'm working on my skills. People say I'm good at what I do. To God be the glory, but I have to work harder to make sure that I'm equipped. So when I stand before people, I am able to show them an example of a good leader. And you can be a good leader whether you're male or female, doesn't make a difference. As long as your heart is right and your eyes are focused, God will make sure you represent him well with the abilities that he has given you. I hope I said something to help you out on tonight. And I gotta go. I'm keeping this down to 45 minutes. So like and share this video. Leave a comment for me. Let me know if you enjoyed it or if you got topics you want me to discuss. Let me know. Shout out to you all that hung out with me to the very end. Thank you so very much. And to those who will be viewing, thank you so much. Later, thank you so much. And all of my friends on the other side of the world that tune in every week and watch. I know when you get up, this will be, I think some of you all in the daytime. That's why I see the numbers. But I thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. Like and share this video. And let's get the word out and help other people. Okay, because I really, 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 really appreciate you. Thanks, little sis. I appreciate you. You see, I'm getting tired because I'm picking up my mother's accent, my mother's Southern accent. It's time for me to debrief. All right, so you all have a great night. Love all y'all. And guess what else I got to say?